I'm Rhonda Johnson. I'm from Calling Lake, Alberta. Grew up on Treaty 8 territory in Wabasca-Desmarais and then Calling Lake, and then moved to Edmonton, Alberta when I was a little older. So yeah, I am a fashion designer, designing under my label Acahkos Designs. Acahkos is a Cree word meaning star in Cree. So I've been designing for about 20 years, and I used to design under another label before that, and then I rebranded to Acahkos about 10 years ago. Probably the same time that my youngest daughter was born, because that's her first name, right? Acahkos.
When did you realize that that fashion was something that you were passionate about?
Probably when I was really young. I grew up in Desmarais, which is it's a reserve north, probably about 3 hours from here, north, Treaty 8. And I grew up with my great-grandmother, my Chapan, Mary Louise, and she introduced me to textiles. So I learned how to make hides and work with like beads and bone, and she introduced me to all of those things. And from there, I just kind of had, like, she planted that in me. You know, it's I put a lot of work and thought and care and love into it. So, and I'm very glad it's going to a good home. It was always with me until I got older, and I didn't actually really fully pursue it until I was about 19, and I did my first fashion show for IAAW. That was my very first fashion show. So that was before I even had the actual professional instruction, right? Mm-hmm. So, and then after that, I went to school. When I first started, I didn't even I didn't go to school for fashion, right? And I made my own patterns and whatnot, what I had learned from when I was younger. But what the advice that I have to give for other designers, younger ones, is actually you need to go to school, is what I think. And they need to get that professional instruction on how to pattern draft and drape and all of. There's a lot. That's a whole new world. There's, even the language, so that's what and just keep going, just keep working on what you're, just keep going, yeah. Keep learning, yeah. This is the warrior shirt that we made. It's like,
what's the story behind the warrior woman and that image being on much of your work?
Well, I got the inspiration just online, right? And I saw a woman, like our ancestors. And I just took that image and drew it out. And I actually have hand painted it onto a screen. And so drew it out, hand painted it, and that's how she came to life. And I know it sounds cliche when they say, you dream about it, but I really do. I dream about a lot of my pieces before I actually put it onto on paper. And then there's the design process, which is actually having to sit down and pattern draft, making your own patterns from scratch. And that takes a lot too. And that's something that I was taught in school. So that's why I believe that every designer needs to go and get that instruction. Patterns for those? We need that. I just designed on what was in my head and what I had learned when I was a young girl from my great-grandmother. It was something that's more contemporary like this. This is the kokum scarf, and I made this before there was kokum scarf fabric made. So I had to stabilize this, and that was really hard on its own, just stabilizing the kokum scarf, because there's a lot of bias and it's very flimsy, and so had to stabilize that, and then putting the boning in there for the corset part. But other than that, I think I really learned how to manipulate fabric. It's really grown since I've started designing. I see a lot of designers now, and like our voice in the arts industry has really expanded and evolved. For myself, like I'm right now I'm still working on my aesthetic, right? So, but I've always been drawn to couture and gowns and the fancy fabrics such as, you know, the organza or the silk satins, and I enjoy working with the most difficult fabrics that I can find.
Yeah.
You know, and once I design something out of them, I feel, you know, it gives me, you know, I feel accomplished. You know, it's just something for myself, I guess. It's challenging, you know, challenging and always learning and evolving and experimenting.